Well, it's been a week and a half since we had this terror attack where we lost 49 friends. In Shirley's case, Shirley said 3 of the individuals that lost their lives were her customers. And if you just travel around Orlando, you'll know it impacted everybody. And if you listen to reports around the world, it impacted our world. Clearly impacted Orlando, clearly impacted our state, and clearly attack on our nation. It was an attack on our gay community, it was an attack on our Hispanic community, but it was just an attack on America's way of life. If you watch what's happened over the last 10 days, though, we have mourned. We have visited with individuals at our hospitals that are still struggling, some for their lives, some to get better and get out of the hospital. But if you look at what's happened in the last 10 days, this community's come together. Last night, the mayor and I were at a concert, Country Strong, that K92.3 put on. And there are a lot of wonderful entertainers that gave up their time to help raise money for these victims. Now, we're going to continue to mourn. We're going to continue to pray for the families that were impacted, the families that still have loved ones in the hospitals, those that are still in the hospital. But the other thing we have to do is we have to think about how we get these businesses back to work. So we're here at Raging Cajun Bike Shop. Mm-hmm. Shirley and Steve own this shop. Their business has absolutely been impacted by what happened here. But we've got a variety. We have ProTent, we've got Connect PCS, we've got Einstein Brother Bagels, we've got Jason's here. We have Tire Kingdom. You look up and down Orange Avenue. These businesses were impacted. And a lot of people think, okay, it's just a business. No, it's people. It's people to get paid. And so what we've got to do as a community is we've got to come back and frequent these businesses, buy a bike, buy a bagel, get your buy lots of things at Radio Shack. You can get your car windows tinted and do a lot of things like that. But the truth is, we got to get these businesses back to work so they can continue to employ the people that they employ every day. And these businesses, or most of them, are very small businesses. They're family-oriented businesses. They love their employees and want their employees to continue to prosper. We've had a great last 5.5 years in our state. We've added over 1 million jobs, which is a real positive. But right now, our job is how do we help these small businesses get back to work while we continue to mourn those that have lost their lives and those that are still in the hospital. Now let me turn it over to Mayor Jacobs. By the way, let me just tell you that Mayor Jacobs has been tireless in making sure that at the local level, like what I've tried to do at the state level, is all the services are here. We've been completely supportive of law enforcement, and law enforcement community has done an outstanding job. But the mayor's been working hard every day, not only to grieve with families, but we had the opportunity to be together yesterday and thank the individuals at the medical examiner's office and just think about the tough job they had.
Thank you, Governor. I don't think anybody works harder, though, than our governor. And I have noticed this from the day you took office. I know your team says that they can't keep up with you. But your efforts here for the last week have been unbelievable. So thank you. He has met with all the families. He has grieved with the families. He's prayed with the families. Those of us who are here in Orlando have gotten to see the human side of Governor Scott that most of you never get to see, probably. And I want to thank him and his wife, Ann, for being here for all of us throughout this last very trying week. Let me reiterate what the governor said. You know, when I walked in and said to Shirley, are you ready to get back to work? She didn't talk about work. She talked about the people she lost. And the folks behind me, they're ready to get back to work, but they're also grieving. And when I think about what is the purpose of terror, it's to disrupt. It's to scare us. Is to force us into our homes, into our cocoons. We as a community have come together to show that this killer did not disrupt our unity. He did not disrupt the loving hearts and souls that we have in this community. And we cannot let him disrupt the way we live our lives. These good folks behind me are grieving along with each of us, but they're also working. And I have no doubt, I don't think I have to make a call to our citizens. I think we just need to let everybody know we're open for business here. They're open for business. So come in, pay them a visit. We've got Subway also across the street. Buy a sub, buy a bagel, as the governor said. Bring a white rose or a rainbow-colored rose, and share their grief and share your time with these folks while you're sharing a bite to eat or getting your bike tuned up. Funny, I dreamt about bikes last night. I must have had you just so on my mind. So thank you to this whole community. Thank you to our media. Thank you to our governor. Thank you to all who have stood so firmly, so soundly together through this most difficult time that we have ever witnessed. And thank you for loving and caring for the 49 victims and the 53 injured and the hundreds of people who are so closely, directly affected. Thank you.
So Shirley, when are you open? And what are you selling here? This is your chance. You have to tell them you got bikes for sale, you tune up bikes, you are open for business, you got great employees, and you wanted to say gainfully employed.
He's a good salesman, right? Shirley.
We are open. We are open, and this has been very devastating to me. I think everyone in some way is touched by this. You either have a friend that has a friend, or like I had customers there. One lady come in yesterday and she said, I called, my grandson left my house, was going to go to the Pulse, and he left and called me back and said, no, Grandma, I'm going to go on to Tallahassee. I'm not going to stop and party. And she just broke down in here, and just, it's things like that that really touch you. But I am, I do want us to get back to normal. I know everyone else wants us to get back to normal. We need to be back at normal. It helps us, like me. First 2 days I didn't move. I just watched TV, and then I kind of shook myself and I said, I got to go on with my life, because it will take everything away from you. But I appreciate everyone coming here today, and maybe we can all work together. Like they said, maybe go buy your batteries that you need for your lights at night. Go have a bagel. Come here and get it flat, fixed, something. But we do appreciate everyone. I appreciate everything. I got phone calls from people just telling me that they're grateful that I'm open and everything. So I do have employees. I did get to pay them last week. We don't know about this week, but that's okay. They got paid last week. So, everybody's hurting in a lot of different ways. So I want to thank everybody for supporting us and coming today to support me. And I appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. Nice meeting you. Nice meeting you. I've seen you, but I didn't never really meet. And that's what I want to say, is I want everybody to just get back to normal, and let's all stay together and support each other.
Talk about the Main Street?
Please.
Okay. Hi, my name's John Toothman. I own a Radio Shack that's under the umbrella of the company name, but it's a small independent store. It's been in my family for 45 years. We've been impacted as well. But I just want to encourage everybody to plug into what is our Main Street. Okay, we have a downtown South Main Street that I was part founder on about in 2008, and it really connects all the local businesses. Many of these businesses have been closed for a week and a half, and so it's been a tough time. You know what? But at the end of the day, we're looking at creating a more pedestrian-friendly area, an area that encourages consumerism in our district. We've got a lot of businesses that are pro-consumer, pro-business. So, in any case, support small and local business. And this is along this whole downtown South Main Street. Thank you, Governor.
Jason, you want to tell them buy a bagel?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're open. And,
Come on up.
you know, so no, I mean, it's
How's the coffee?
coffee's hot,
Coffee's-
fresh.
Coffee's really
bagels.
good. I can vouch for
Appreciate
that.
it. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I can't say it better than anybody else that's already been up here, but come on down to the downtown South area and support the local businesses. So thank you all for really coming and helping us out and showing your presence. So thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks.
I own Pro 10 across the street. It's been rough on us all. We've lost a lot of customers that were ours and friends also over the years. For the injured that's in the hospital, our company's going to be giving free tent jobs to them. So we hope they get better and come and see us soon. We're a small business. My employees are here. We could use all the help we can get. We're open for business, and all of us here, we just need to get on with our lives and move forward because we all do have families we have to take care of too. That's pretty much all I had to say, and our hearts go out to the victims and everything. Yes. Thank you so much.
Can you answer any questions anybody has?
Governor, do you have any specific resources from the state to help these small businesses just kind of get back on their feet? Because a lot of them couldn't even pay their employees.
Sure, we have. Through the Department of Economic Opportunity, we have a small business loan program that will help them get back to work. But the biggest thing we can do, I think the mayor would say the same thing. The biggest thing we can do is highlight the needs of these businesses and understand that there's a Shirley out there that has employees, and there's Earl and there's a Jason. They have employees, and they want to make sure that they can continue to pay those employees. So as a community, we can come together and support these businesses that we know were significantly impacted because for 10 days, basically, a lot of them had almost no business.
Governor or Mayor, is there anything to be done in terms of advertising to try to start kind of a campaign to really get that out there? I mean, any thoughts to that end?
No, I think that the governor's thought was that one of the most important things we could do is pull this press briefing together to let everybody know that we are open for business here as well. We'll certainly work with all the businesses down here if there's any sense that people are not coming back in large numbers. I expect they will. I expect that once they realize that we have businesses that have been closed down for a week that have lost, friends and neighbors and customers. I have so much confidence in this community. I've always loved this community, but I've never been more proud of the way this community's come down together this last week. And I would frankly be shocked if we don't see large volumes of people coming down here to patronize these businesses that are part of this tragedy as well. Thank you.
One thing we have, one thing we have at the state level, we have Visit Florida, which really markets to bring more tourists in. And as you know, we've had record tourism numbers for the last 5 years. The first quarter of this year, we had 30 million tourists. They'll continue. It's a match program with the private sector. They'll continue to help make sure we continue to see tourism, but there's no specific program just for an area.
Other than the loan program, which, I was talking to a couple of the local business owners, they would obviously need to pay back. I know it's a no-interest loan, but that, they still have to find that money somewhere. Is there any other effort that's being made to find a grant, to find local funds, to find emergency funding to help these business owners pay the bills for the next week?
Sure. We've asked for a federal declaration, emergency declaration, which unfortunately the White House turned down. We will be applying through the Small Business Administration for any support they can give us. So those are all the things we're trying to do. We're trying to get all the resources we can from the federal, but at this point they've turned us down.
How do you think you're going to have any luck with appealing that? Do you feel like you'll be able to get that federal funding?
I'm shocked. It doesn't make any sense to me. We had 49 people. This was terrorists. We had 49 people murdered, slaughtered. We had 43 people in the hospital, and so I can't imagine why that this was not approved. So clearly we'll appeal it. We'll do everything we can. We'll work with the mayor. We'll work with our local law enforcement to continue to make sure, try to our best.
Do you guys feel that they're going to accept your appeal? Do you have a gut feeling that they're going to?
I would like to tell you yes, but I'm shocked that they said no in the beginning. Who's not shocked?
Governor, Mayor, is there any dollar amount that you guys know that all these businesses lost within those 9-10 days of closed?
We don't know.
Is there anything that the state can do to try and head off something like this in the future? Is there any kind of, Pulse was a business and a shooter who had been on terror watch list walked in with a gun that he had bought just a few days before. Is there anything the state is looking at in possible gun control measures or temporary restraining orders for gunmen, something like that?
So I think all of us, the first thing you always try to do is say, okay, so what can we do different? Right? Is there something that we can do to improve our society? We don't ever want anything like this happen again. From my standpoint, destroy ISIS. In 2014, we lost a journalist in Miami, Stephen Saltlock, beheaded by ISIS. That should have been enough. Now we have 49 people murdered, right over there. 49 people murdered. When are we going to say that we need somebody that's going to say we're going to destroy ISIS? We're going to say we're not going to stand for radical Islam. We're going to stop this. I mean, we're off talking about gun control. The Second Amendment didn't kill anybody. ISIS, evil, radical Islam did this. And as a country, we've got to start standing up and saying we're not going to let this happen to Orlando, to Florida. This was an attack on our nation. Now, clearly it was an attack on our gay community. Clearly it was an attack on our Hispanic community. Absolutely. But it was an attack on all of us. It could be us next.
Last question. Mayor, we were told, or at least it was our understanding, that there was going to be some kind of program or offering to help with employees who maybe have been out of work, pay with rent or utilities. Is that something that's in the works?
I think what you're probably referring to is the One Orlando Fund that the city has created. It's taken in millions of dollars. I think that they're looking at the best way to deploy those resources. And at this point, I think the focus is primarily on the victims, medical bills, those types of things. I think what would be helpful for us, and we'll be able to have these conversations, is to, somebody asked the question, do we know how much money these businesses have lost collectively? I think as a starting point to know what that dollar figure is, and that should be easy enough to gather, and then we'll have an idea of what we're talking about, and we can work together. Governor mentioned SBA. We have a wonderful relationship there. So certainly, I know you can count on Mayor Dyer and myself and the governor to pursue any resources that might be available to help them make up for those lost revenue. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming to Orange Avenue.
Return you to our regularly scheduled programming, already in progress.